students, welcome back to our channel Bhagay Academy of Mathematics. In our previous video itself, we have seen an introduction for UGC NET Paper 1 exam. There we have seen about the questions, the syllabus, the concepts under which we will be getting the questions, marks, number of questions, all those things we have seen in a brief way. If you have not seen that video, please see that video and then come. I will just post it in the description box. You can see that video. And as promised there itself, here from this video onwards, we are going to start with our learning preparation. So we are going to see the mathematics and arithmetic concepts one by one. So as a beginning, we are going to start with a topic called number series. This is going to be much famous, much popular in that UGC NET Paper 1 exam. So if you see UGC NET Paper 1 exam, roughly in an average under this mathematics and arithmetic part, you will happen to get some 2 to 3 questions, and I'm just saying in average. You can just see some 2 to 3 questions coming under this series type. Okay, so series types of questions will be asked. Your questions may be under number series or alphanumeric series. These types of topics under which you will be getting some questions. So one such topic is what is this number series, and we will see about that alphanumeric series later. So first here, now we will focus on that number series part. That's what we are going to see here in this session. Now if you see how will be the questions in that number series topic, we have some basic examples here. Okay, you can just look these examples. This is the way you will be getting the number series questions in your UGC NET Paper 1 exam. See here, you will be having a questions with some sequence of numbers. You will be having a series of numbers and they will be following some particular pattern. Okay, so we will have to observe the series, that sequence, and go take that pattern, go catch the pattern, and then apply that calculation and then find the missing number. See, you can see the question numbers. Okay, you will have a sequence of numbers and you will happen to get some question marks here, question marks. So what we have to do here is we have to undergo that calculation and then finally find what number will replace these question marks. This is what we are going to do, and this is the way, this is what we are going to learn in today's session. Okay, and then one more thing is, before directly getting into the calculation, this practice part, in prior we need to see some fundamentals, some basics. Okay, so some basics are there that are need to be revised by you. So that basics, once after revising, then after getting into the problem solving, that will be very comfortable for us to follow. Okay, because being art students, most art students take this UGC NET Paper 1 exam. So for them, they might have lost that touch with mathematics for so long, for many number of years, right? So for them, it would be a good chance to just revise these fundamentals and then get into the problem solving part. So we will start with revising the fundamentals. Yes? Yeah, here we go. Friends, I think all of you are ready. The topic being number series, we need to know about certain types of numbers that we have already learned in our school days, but you might have lost, many aspirants might have lost the touch with mathematics. So it would be a clear brush up for you to know about the types of numbers, because once after knowing about these types of numbers are what, we'll be able to solve the problems here. Okay, so for that reason, let us see these types of numbers one by one and then go apply it to the problems for solving. Okay, yes, so to know the types of numbers, what are the types of numbers we have? So first is even numbers, then odd numbers, then we have prime numbers. Likewise, we have one by one. So what are even numbers? We will start from here. So what numbers are even numbers? So very simple, the basic definition is, whenever we take a number and if the number is divisible by 2, or to be even precise, if I try to divide a number by 2 and if we have the remainder to be 0, then those numbers are called the even numbers. Okay, so I think you can list the even numbers. It would be a clear revision for you. So what are the even numbers? So we start from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and so on. So this is going to be the list of even numbers. And next is set of odd numbers. So what are all odd numbers? The opposite of even numbers. Okay, so odd numbers are numbers which are not divisible by 2. Or here to be precise, so when I try to divide a number by 2, if the number leaves, if the division process leaves a remainder 1, then we call those numbers to be odd numbers. So how will be the odd numbers? We'll just form the sequence. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 11, then 13, and so on. Okay, so this list is going to be odd numbers. I think so far it is comfortable for you. And next comes the prime numbers. Okay, so what are prime numbers? Because the application of prime numbers is also a little important in our questions, to solve the questions. Okay, so what are prime numbers? So basically we will see the definition of prime numbers first. So we have many complicated definitions also for these prime numbers, but to make our understanding easy, we'll see some easy kind of definitions. Okay, so those numbers which are divisible by 1 and itself. So those numbers which are only divisible by 1 and itself. So they must be divisible only by two numbers. One is 1, the other one is that number itself. So such numbers are what we call it as prime numbers. Okay, so what are all prime numbers then? So we will just take the list of prime numbers here. So the first prime number will be 2. Okay, so 2 is the very first prime number. So because most students losing the touch, what they will do is they will forget to include this 2 as a prime number, but sure 2 is a prime number, please don't forget it. And next prime number will be 3, and then 5 is the next prime number, and then next is 7 is a prime number, and then what would the next prime number? Can we include 9 to be a prime number? Please don't include 9 as a prime number. 9 is not a prime number. After 7, the next prime number would be 11, then 13, then 17, and so on. Okay, this list goes and goes. So these are going to be the list of prime numbers. Now we will just verify the definition. Okay, so for an example, take this number 5 and check this 5 is divisible by what are all the numbers. Okay, so if I want to divide this 5, I can divide this 5 by 1. That division is possible. Or otherwise I can divide 5 by 5 itself. Okay, so if I want to divide 5, I can do it in only two possible ways without leaving a remainder. 5 I can divide by 1, or 5 I can divide by 5. Only these two cases are possible. Okay, try to divide 5 by 2 or 5 by 3. Is that division possible? That is not possible, and that's the reason 5 is a prime number. So the numbers which are going to be divisible only by 1 and that number itself. Okay, if you take the case of 7, 7 is divisible by 1 and 7, only these two numbers, no other numbers. Take 2, 2 is divisible by 1 and 2, only these two numbers. Okay, so that's the reason all these numbers are going to be prime numbers. Okay, I think now you are somewhat able to take the definition of prime numbers and you are able to accept what are prime numbers. Okay, so this is going to be the list of prime numbers. You can even post your doubts, whatever comments you have, whatever doubts you have, you can just post it in the comments. Okay, yes, so these are all the types of basic types of numbers. There are other types of numbers are also there, but for our syllabus, for our concept learning, these things are more than enough. Okay, and next comes about the basic operations, basic mathematical operations. So what are going to be the basic operations in mathematics? We very well know them. So addition, plus, and then subtraction, minus. Okay, so addition and subtraction. Addition is adding, subtraction we have to minus, subtract, and then multiplication, and then division. Okay, so of course only these four operations are going to be the very basic operations. So these four operations also we need to be very sure to attend our questions from number series. Okay, addition, we know about adding two numbers, and if you are given two numbers, we know how to subtract them. And then about this multiplication, this is what is very much important. So we must be knowing multiplication, and it is important for us to know multiplication tables. Okay, so it is very much important for you to revise some multiplication tables. So kindly go revise the tables, and at least it is important for you to revise single digit multiplication tables, that is 2 tables, 3 tables, 4 tables, up to 9 tables. Okay, kindly just see that you are knowing multiplication tables from 2 till 9, that is from 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6, and so on up to 9 nines are 81, 9 tens are 90. I think this is going to be more than enough if you learn up to this. Okay, so knowing tables up to this is more than enough for you to solve the problems for this UGC NET exam paper 1. And then about division. So this addition and subtraction are opposite operations. The same way, multiplication and division are going to be opposite operations. Okay, so once you know addition, you will be able to do subtraction, the reverse process. Same way, once you know tables, multiplication, you can even divide it. Okay, like for an example, if I know 5 3s is 15, I can say 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, the same thing is what is division. Okay, so kindly be sure about these 4 basic operations, and then about next 2 important things, which are nothing but squares and cubes. Knowing these things are also little important. Okay, I will say that they are not much frequent, but at the same time they are going to be little important. Knowing these, additionally knowing these would not offend your or it won't trouble you, it won't take much time for you to get practice. Okay, so knowing these are also will keep you on a safe side. Okay, for that reason it is important for us to know about squares and cubes also. Okay, so it is better if you know the squares and cubes of the first 10 numbers. Okay, so try to learn the squares and cubes of the first 10 numbers. But basically, what do you mean by square and what do you mean by cube? Okay, one by one we will see. So what do you mean by square? Squaring of a number, square of a number. What do you mean by square of a number? So if I have a number, how can I find the square of the number? It's very easy. Suppose if I have a number 5. So what is the square of 5? Square of 5 is nothing but 5 into 5. Okay, I have to multiply that number with itself. That is what is square. Okay, so if I want to find the square of 5, I should do 5 into 5. That is 5 5s are. 5 5s are is 25, right? So that is what is this square. Okay, so it is important for us to know, as I told, it is important to know the first 10 numbers square. Okay, let me list them one by one. Okay, so start from 1. So what is 1 square? 1 square will be 1 1s are. 1 1s are is 1. Next is 2 square. 2 square will be 2 2s are 4. Next 3 square is 3 3s are 9. So I am not writing 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. Instead I am just writing the answers alone. Okay. So for your better understanding, I am just revealing it here itself. 1 square 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, and then yeah, you can continue with 4 square would be 4 4s are 16. Then 5 square is 5 5s are 25. 6 square is 6 6 are 36. 7 square would be 49 because 7 7s are 49. Then 8 square would be 8 8s are 64. Then 9 square would be 9 9s are 81. And last 10 square would be 10 10s are 100. Okay. So as I told, if you are very thorough with multiplication tables, the squaring won't be a big problem for you. Okay. So in the tables flow itself, you will be able to remember these things. Okay. And next comes about the cube. Cube is what is little advanced, little complicated than compared to a square. Okay, because most of you won't be much familiar with this cube. Okay, the square itself is most of you are little familiar, but cubes you must have seen this very long ago. Okay, so these cubes won't be much familiar to the aspirants. So anyways, it is time for us to revise these cubes also. Okay, so cubes, what do you mean by cubes? Okay, so first of all, basically we saw about squares. Squaring of a number means simply we are multiplying the number with itself. Okay, that is 5 square means 5 into 5. We are just multiplying twice. But what is cube? What is cube? Cube in the sense we are multiplying the number with itself for 3 times. That is, if I want to find the cube of 5, so 5 cube, what will be 5 cube? 5 cube will be nothing but 5 into 5 into 5. I should do it for 3 times. So 3 times multiplication. That is what is this cube. Okay, for identity, let me write it here itself. Okay, just for an example, okay, to show it, I'll just write it here itself. How to write that 5 square? 5 square will be 5 square. This is the way they will be writing. Okay, I'm just writing for an instance. Okay, and one more thing, if I just come to this extreme position, I may go beyond the camera. Okay, but please ignore that. Just follow my instructions. Okay, that would be better. I think the board is visible to you. The full board is visible to you. Kindly follow that. And then cube, how do they represent cube? Cube will be represented like this. Okay, 5 cube, this is the way they will be representing. Okay, so the same for all the other numbers also. Suppose if you want to write 7 square, they will write 7 and the top of that they will put the 2. 7 square. Okay, same if you want to represent 8 cube, so this is the way they will write 8 power 3. Okay, the 3 is attached to the top. Okay, they will call it as power. Okay, power 3. Okay, 5 cube. This is how they will be writing this cube. Okay, now we will see the cubes of the first 10 numbers here. Okay, this, as I told you, you might not be much familiar with this, but no worries, I will just list it one by one. Okay, so start from 1 cube. 1 cube is 1. Then 2 cube is, we have to multiply 2 3 times. So 2 into 2 into 2, that will give us 8. Then 3 cube would be 3 into 3 into 3, which would be 27. 4 cube would be 4 4 4 64. Please don't add 4 plus 4 plus 4. That would give you 12. Okay. That is not 4 plus 4 plus 4. 4 into 4 into 4. That is what is cube. Okay. Please remember that. Okay. So we have to multiply. Okay. So 64, and then 5 cube is 5 into 5 into 5, which is 125. And then 6 cube is, if you happen to calculate, you can even calculate it. Okay. So 6 cube would be 216. Then 7 cube is 343. 8 cube is 512. 9 cube would be 729. And 10 cube would be 1000. 10 into 10 into 10 would be 1000. So successfully we have found the cubes of the first 10 numbers also. Okay. As I told, this is going to be little rare, but at the same time, please don't easily ignore it. They are not going to be very hard numbers. Okay. You can very easily, just by practice, you can very easily memorize these numbers. So for overall, these are all the things you need to revise. Types of numbers. These are all the things you need to revise once before getting into the calculation part. Okay. So if you know about this odd numbers, even numbers, prime numbers, the square, cube, multiplication, tables, addition, subtraction, all these things itself, you are very much comfortable. You would be very much comfortable to play with the questions from number series. Okay. Now see here we have some basic examples here. Okay. You can see some basic examples. I've written it already. Now let us try to solve these basic examples. Shall we just try it? Okay. Yes, we will try these basic questions. We have only 3 of these questions. So I think those who have once completed this itself, you would have jumped on to this trying to solve these questions. Very good. So yes, others we will just try to solve these questions one by one. The first one, okay. First one says 5, 6, 9, 14, 21 and a question mark. Okay, so these are the numbers we have in our first question. So this is going to be a number series question. So what would be the number that comes here in this place of question mark? That is what we need to calculate and find. Okay, so what is the first thing we need to do is see the numbers. They are getting increasing, right? So the numbers are getting increasing, right? So what we need to do is see the way they are getting increased. So for an example, if I want to say, see the first number is 5 and the second number is 6. Now if you just see how much is getting increased, okay. I mean with this 5, how much if we add we can get this 6? It is simply plus 1. Can you just see that? So 5 plus 1 I did, I am getting this 6, okay. Now do the same for 6 to 9. I mean the second number to third number. 6 to 9. So with 6 they have added some number to get this 9. So what number we need to add from 6 to get this 9? It's very easy to say. 6 plus 3 would give us 9, right? So the numbers are being very small, we can easily get the number answers. So how much to be added, everything we can very easily get. So 6 to 9 it is going to be plus 3, okay. And let's continue the chain. So from 9 to 14, okay. So here how much to be added? 9 to 14, 9 to 10, 1, 10 to 14, 4. That means plus 5 they have added 5, 9 plus 5 they have added to get 14. And from 14 to 21 if we see, this would be plus 7, right? So we are continuing the chain. First they have added plus 1, they got the second one, plus 3, the third one, then here plus 4, the fourth one they have got, and from here plus 7 they did to get the fifth number, okay. And the next is what is the question mark, okay. And we need to find what number will be coming here in the place of this question mark. I think you must have got the logic, what logic is followed here. So clearly they have used the concept of odd numbers, okay. You can see clearly, see the numbers there, the what numbers they have added here, plus 1, plus 3, plus 5, plus 7, all these are going to be odd numbers, right? So 1, 3, 5, 7, this is the way they have built the sequence. So obviously what number should be added next? You must have touched it, okay, you must have touched it. 1, 3, 5, 7, the next number is 9, right? So that means I have to add 9 here, okay. So that means I should add 21 plus 9 to get my next number. Is the point clear? So that means 5 plus 1 they got the 6. 6 plus 3 they got this 9, and so on. So now I'm ending with 21. That is my last term. So 21 plus 9 I should do to get the next number. Okay, so 21 plus 9 would give us 30. So the answer is 30 for this question. Okay, so let's try to do the same way to get the answers for the other questions also. come to the second one. So here also they have given us some sequence. Here also the same way you can see the numbers are getting increased. Okay, so here also let's try to do the same thing. Okay, so here what they have done is 2, 4. Okay, so here to here, so how much they have added? 2 plus 2. So 2 plus 2 would give us 4, and then 4. Then what we have to add to get this 7? Okay, 4 plus 3 I have to do to get this 7, and then 7 add something with 7 to get this 12. So how much to be added with 7 to get this 12? So I need to add 5, right? So plus 5 they have done here. 7 plus 5 is 12, and next is 12 plus some number is giving this 19. So what number should be added here? So here we need to add 7, right? 12 plus 7 is giving you 19, and next one more we have 19 plus what number will give you 30. So this one we have a very big increase. So 19 to 30. So they have added 11 here, correct? So plus 11. So and the next one is question mark. So that means with 30 I need to add some number to get the question mark. Okay, so the number that would come here in the place of this question mark. So now try to observe the pattern, what pattern it is following. So plus 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. So if you see, this is following the pattern of prime numbers. So I think you are able to catch it. So that means this is the sequence of prime numbers. They have used the concept of prime numbers. And so what should be the next prime number after 11? Till 11 we have. So after 11 the next prime number is 13. So I need to add 13 here. That means 30 plus 13 we need to do. So 30 plus 13 would give us how much? So it would be 43, right? So that means the question mark here I will be having the number 43. So that should be the number. That should be that is the answer for the second question. Okay. And lastly we have another one more question here. I think this you would be catch it very easily. So 7, 14, 21, 28 and 35. So clearly this would be plus 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. And again, once again, 14 plus 7 is 21. And then 21 plus 7, 28. 28 plus 7 is 35. So obviously plus 7. Okay, here you don't have any change in the pattern. You have the same number is getting added to all the terms. So that means 35 plus 7 would give us 42. So our next number that will replace this question mark would be 42. Okay, so this way we can solve this problem. Or otherwise, what is the other way to see the same problem? How can be the other? What can be the other approach to see the problem? See here 7, 14, 21, 28. So if you come catch this multiplication tables, okay. So if you're very sure about multiplication tables, you must have arrived the answer. This is nothing but 7 tables, okay. So here we have 7. Here we have 14. See, they are nothing but the tables. 7 tables, okay. Multiplication tables. 7 ones are is this 7. Next is 7 twos are 14. Next 7 threes are 21. 7 fours are 28. 7 fives are 35. And next we must be having 7 6 are 42. Okay. So this is what, when we are sure with multiplication tables, we can even solve this by that approach. Okay. So we have seen some basic questions. I will say only these are basic questions. Okay. You can't expect the same way in the exam also. These are going to be very basic questions. Just to show some samples, I just gave this questions for you. Okay. So say here, this basic level questions itself is involving the concepts of this odd numbers, even numbers, prime numbers, tables, multiplication tables, and that is the reason I insisted you to be thorough with all these basics. Okay, is the point clear? So be thorough with the basics and then try to solve the problems. Kindly revise all these things. Okay, so I would even suggest you to maintain a separate notebook. Okay, since this being the first class, here itself I just give you the instruction. Try to have a separate notebook for your practice for our classes. Okay. Why? Because that would be easy for you to, once you maintain this separate notebook, it would be very easy for you to revise later at the time of exam. Okay, you can have all those things in a flow, in an order, so that it would be very easy for you to practice during the exam time, revise during the exam time. Okay, for that purpose only. So kindly have a revision of all these things, then that would help you to solve the problems. And one more thing, here in this session we have just seen some basics. Okay, some fundamentals that are to be revised and some basic questions. Okay, there are even hard questions. Okay, medium level questions, hard level questions are also there. So in the next part, okay, in the next, I will just release a part 2 video of this number series. In the part 2, we'll see just some clear-cut approach, how to approach the questions, okay. What should be the basic approach when number series question is given to you, how the way we need to approach it, and what are the things of possibilities we have to drain from it. So all those things we will clearly see in the continuation part, and I mean the part 2 video of this number series, okay. Till then, you just have a revision of all these things that will help you to continue with the next video. Hopefully, I'll release the next video also very soon, as early as possible. See you there soon. Thank you so much.